Hello, I'm Chris Solo, and welcome to Fabled 42, where we build community through friendship, gaming, and chaos. You're watching Quests and Answers, and you can catch us live every Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific here at twitch.tv/Fabled42. But before we get into today's questions, I already see a bunch of them flying in. We're going to get through some really quick announcements. So anything that you see that's 3D printed in any of our streams is brought to you by Griffin Co. We are Vorpal powered. Our video and audio displays, player indicators, digital dice, and zoom features on battle maps are all brought to you by Vorpal Board. And if you love our content and love our community and you want to show your support, go ahead and check out the Patreon link down below in our chat. And we will, there's lots of really cool things on there, and we're constantly adding more things. So we do need your support, and we appreciate it so very, very much. But without further ado, let's get into today's episode. We're going to talk about the 24-hour dungeon crawl. And while I'm compiling these questions you all have been throwing at me already, let's do some introductions. We do have Ronan, who will be joining us very soon. Joey, go ahead.
Joey, yeah, I'm the CEO of an organization called Obey Alliance. You can find me at Sidoros right here below on Twitter. I don't really use Instagram yet because I'm old, but getting there. Yeah, the Madness thing was crazy. It was a lot of fun, so I appreciate the invite for that.
Well, you are most welcome.
Hi, everyone. My name's Diane Hall. I think I've been on most of these so far. You can find me
you are a regular now.
You can find me at the Pretty DM on Instagram and Twitter, and you can find me here right after the show, being a wizard. And on Wednesdays for Realm Season 2, and in October, my own show, The Legends of Shah Ogal. Very excited for that, starting October 19th. Yeah, and I was the longest player for the 24-hour streak.
Yes, you were.
Very excited.
So let's get through some of the questions. I know a lot of them are going to be for me, but I'm hoping we get some for players too, because Joey was one of the survivors. He didn't have much of a choice, but he snuck by with the skin of his teeth. But
Jadobi was putting on the hurt.
Yeah. Survivor nonetheless, and Diane was one of the first and then longest surviving player.
And still technically surviving. I have purple hands, guys. It's okay.
Yes.
Technically still surviving.
Amazing. So first question was from Ferrix. How did you cope with the aftertaste of the Madness stream? Meaning the immediate tiredness and then river break immediately afterwards. Well, I didn't go to bed for about 2.5 hours after the stream. And we talked for about a half an hour after we ended the stream. So it was 3 hours after. I normally get 4 or 5 hours of sleep at night anyway. #veteran. I was actually fine. Woke up in the morning, did the stream. I mean, a little bit into the stream, my brain started kind of going a little foggy, only because we were fighting a fucking beholder. But no, I was pretty good. Which goes into the next thing, which April asked, would I ever do this again? Yeah, I could probably do this once a month, but I'm not going to. But I definitely am going to do it again. The amazing turnout, the amazing connections with lore and all the things that I threw together, and all the amazing reactions we had from fans and players alike is huge, like eye-opening experience about how amazing our community is. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely would love to do this again. Maybe quarterly or twice a year. I don't know. We'll see.
And we also found out for science that you can be 3/4 chai and still survive.
I had 12 cups of chai.
True.
12.
That's not a cup, man. That's a liter.
Well, technically it is a cup. Well, it's just one of these, which is like a regular. Maybe I guess it's 2 cups technically because it's a bigger cup.
It is.
But most of that cup is ice, and then there is a little milk in there. But it's still,
Okay.
yeah. Because I don't like drinking warm coffee. That's just my thing. How did you think it was going to end? How did you think to end? Hang on. How did you think it was going to end? BS, how it actually... Oh, besides that. Okay, got it. Besides it actually went. So, I actually, obviously, as a DM, I really wanted them to fight each other. What's up, Renee? Welcome.
Hello.
Let's get you in place. Renee, you want to do a quick intro? I know most of the people know who you are,
yeah.
but go for it.
Sure. Hi, guys. My name is Renee. I am the dungeon referee for Mythical Melee. I will also be taking part in not this week's, but next week's Wizards of Ukakon. Mythical Melee's just finished its final preliminary match, which you could go find on the VOD. Mr. Joey Richardson here came on top and claimed the final spot. We'll see how he does in the finals against Keith, April, Chris Solo, or sorry, not Chris Solo. You didn't make that. Chris Sizemore, and Bridget. Sorry, I know it stings, man. There was such a bad slip up, and I know it hurts, but know that I love you.
Looking forward to the tag team. That's all I'm saying.
Yes. But yes, please check us out on October 18th for the finals of Mythical Melee, where the winner is going to be awarded a dice bag for the competition. It's going to be great.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining this conversation. Just going through some of the questions in chat already.
Please. My pleasure.
Here comes Ronan. Let's just get Ronan in here, too.
He's got to have the mullet. Where's the mullet?
I didn't bring
Where's
it.
the mullet?
Damn.
Ronan, you want to do a real quick intro again with yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hold on, a little bright. My name is Ronan Fox. I am an author and cast member at Fable 42. You can find me at Ronan Fox. That's FAWKS on Instagram, because that's really the only one I pay attention to. So.
This is true. And Ronan has also joined the Fable 42 management team, so he's going to be helping us a lot on the back end, as is Diane. So a lot of things changing with the network, a lot of things moving, especially with the traction that we got from this 24-hour stream, which I'm still dumbfounded that we had over 100 people for most of the 24 hours, which doesn't make any sense.
It was crazy.
But just want to pile through these more questions because they are coming in. We might have to have a part 2 of this. I don't know. Sure. So the question was, how did you think it was going to end besides how it did end? Obviously, selfishly, I wanted it to end with them murdering each other, but I didn't think they were actually going to do that. But, I actually expected it was built that he was the final boss fight, which is why, depending on how much time we had, I was like, you know what, I'm actually going to kill the boss fight I had planned before him, and then so I made sure I had enough time for his stuff. But when Tristan was like, I'm holding my action, if this guy hits as hard as I think he's going to hit, I'm going to attack Breadcrumbs. And I was like, and if you go back and watch my face when I'm like this and I'm reading the message, and I was like, just like trying to be as blank face as possible. But once you guys started
24 hours in.
Once you guys started to attack each other and then started using your luck point and stuff on each other, like you could see how crazy sinister my face was going. I was like, yes, yes. Like it was amazing. But it was really, really fun. Let's see. I got one more question, and then we will open it up to you guys if you had questions, concerns, or whatever. Last question is from Valrook. How long had you planned on having the dungeon provide key lore connections? Was it something that you just spontaneously decided, or was it meticulously planned out? Most of the stuff I do is not meticulously planned out. I have ideas of how I wanted to do things, and it's usually I let it kind of build up organically. I knew, without giving spoilers, I knew I wanted to connect Wizards and Realms for very, very specific reasons. Because there's a big bad in Realms Season 2 that is from the Wizards world. As we were getting into the dungeon, when my mind started going crazy, the best times when I have these thoughts, I was like, wait. No, you know what? I think it was actually before. I think it was when I was prepping for it, when I was actually building the dungeon. Because coincidentally, most of the time when I have my really, really awesome ideas, it's when I'm building the sets. Like, I'm very just meticulous, my kids are away, I have headphones on, I'm just really just focused on, making these sets or whatever, and then I have these crazy ideas. But then making that dungeon actually the school, and if you haven't seen the dungeon, 24 Hours to Crawl, I apologize, but the big bad guy, Voltok, at the end, attended or was an instructor or something, somehow attached to the wizard school, the Venrium College, to where now 4,000 years later, this college has become his Dungeon of Madness. So connecting those two ties, and this Dungeon of Madness crawl happens between Season 1 and Season 2 of Realms of Ukador. So now timeline wise, we're in the same spot. Lore wise, we have some big bad that does some really crazy things with his manipulative magic. So it just kind of starts to kind of tie all the things in. But that's my quick answer to that. So I've talked a lot. The four of you, what are your key takeaways? What were your thoughts? I know a lot of you watched a lot of this. Diane was the longest running player.
And I
Joey
watched
was one of the
the entire
survivors.
thing.
Yeah.
I didn't sleep for over 24 hours. I could have too. I didn't have to stay up. Anyways, it's whatever. It was a lot of fun. Let me think about what my key takeaway was. I'm terrified for Realms, first of all.
You don't know. You don't know.
I know. Keelan doesn't know, but I as a player know.
I think the scale was incredible. I think
Yeah.
that like I didn't know on your end how, I know how hard it is to pace, a 3 or 4 hour game. I can't imagine trying to create something that has that kind of pacing, and then to have all of these people switching in and out, like it's pandemonium, and I don't know how that worked, but it did. It worked really well.
I don't know either, to be honest. Like the way that my brain works, it's part because I'm this creative person, and it's part with the military training where like crazy stressful situations, I'm fine. It's
Right.
like the dishwasher isn't working. I'm like, why isn't the dishwasher working? Like I freak out, but like it's backwards for some military guys anyway.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
But-
you can thrive under pressure. you
Yeah,
know.
thrive under pressure. The pacing, like the order of everybody was pretty random. I got everyone's earliest start time, and so the randomness starts at the earliest start time. As some of you know, Jason was in it twice because I needed a spot filled because not many people were ready before 4 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't see 4 players playing for 4 hours. So like, there needed to be some people there just in case they needed to cycle. So that was really interesting too. But
I got a question.
Yeah.
Will you make the battles harder the next time you do a 24-hour?
you don't think they were hard enough?
I hope
I'm
not.
just asking.
Um,
Did you take anything away of the difficulty or what to do with the players, as some of them seem to last a little longer than expected?
it they're I think raising some DCs for things to make it a little bit more challenging, and maybe because I did all my dice rolls on Vorpal, so there's no pulling punches, which was my biggest thing. Was as a DM, I mean, we all know that sometimes you have to pull a punch. Sometimes the HP goes down a little bit, or sometimes it goes up a little bit if you underbalance the encounter. Or, I can't count how many times I've rolled a natural 20 behind a screen and be like, oh, this is not the time to do that. And then,
Yeah.
12, does a 12 hit? And you're like, no, it misses. I'm like, whew, we're good. But it's not all the time. And obviously it's about the flow and everything else. But there's a fine line with me not just gunning for Diane's character, for example, right? So I was trying to be as balanced as possible, which is why the one thing that I did, I think we talked about this either was on stream or after stream, was the D4 roll that I was doing, where the enemies would choose out of the 4 people who was going to attack. So there's no favoritism, or there's no like isolating the one person who's been in here for a long time. And that's how Lindsay got eaten, So then Lindsay getting eaten can't really be better at me because it was a dice roll and then, you got eaten. So stuff like that I think helps. Possibly making it more challenging, but I mean, how it worked out pretty well. We got to the last 4 or 5 players, which was kind of fitting. And I was actually, that last encounter that you all were doing, I actually pulled back a little bit because when I made the decision, because the original decision wasn't to do it in the wizard arena, but I was like, it has to be in the wizard arena, and there's 5 circles. So I'm like, we can't have 4 players. Who's gonna be the 5th player? Like, then my mind was like, oh my god, OCD, like it needs to have a 5th player. And then my mind did cross, like if someone died, I might have brought Lich Jadobi in or something silly like that. But I also didn't want to do something silly like that because technically he's level 20 and you guys are 5 and 6, so like that doesn't make sense. But Where's my mercy roll for disintegrate? Well, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna bring her back. It's
Yeah.
okay. She's
Well,
in my
Oh,
pocket.
man. Oh,
But you
I
know
got a
what?
good one off too. Don't worry.
Yeah, yeah. I guess you can bring her back, and you'll bring her back in.
I'm gonna find a way. She's in my world now, so
I only want to be in that world of Stevens there.
Yes.
God,
Steven.
Bring
Steven.
back Steven.
Hashtag
Steven's
Steven.
dead. Hashtag Steven's dead.
Bring back Steven. He ate the 9th level spell though. Okay, he's
He
a
did.
hero. He's a
I know.
hero.
Bard will sing of
Did I
him.
do
Yeah.
Finger of Death on him? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
did power word kill,
No,
didn't you?
power
Oh
kill.
yeah,
Power
yeah,
kill.
it was kill. Yeah.
Yeah, power
There,
would
there
kill.
was another time too where, especially with that guy, I'm like, well, hang on a second. Like, there was a couple of times where I was like, fuck, a Lich is really hard for level 5 party. Like, okay, how do I do this? Okay, and then the Beholder was also not hard. Like, y'all did pretty good. Like, I don't think I pulled punches for the Beholder. I know I always forget about legendary actions. So that's just me doing too many things. But y'all did good against the Beholder,
Same.
which was
I always.
surprising.
I was surprised that I got that close to begin with, like because Pan spent most of his time out of spells, like completely tapped, and then when we managed to get all the way to the Beholder, I was just like, man, I'm really tired. I'm just gonna go balls to the wall and hope to God that this thing like chews me up and spits me out. And then it got closer and closer and closer and closer and closer, and I'm like, okay, maybe we make it through. And then you hit me with the disintegrate ray, and I was like, oh well, here we go.
That's why I walked into the doorway. Because
Yeah.
I was on for 12 and a half hours. I was like, well, just time to start doing some weird stuff.
Well, you know,
That was exactly it.
The interesting thing about the doorway thing is it was literally our ability score checks. So it was strength,
Mhm.
wisdom, dex, whatever. And it really is. It was just a meaningless room. Because, like, trying to think of traps that aren't your traditional traps, like the one
Yeah.
where you went down the
Yep.
slide, which, you know,
Mhm,
was something you guys got
mhm.
creative and worked it out. But trying to think of traps that would be in a Dungeon of Madness. What's more maddening than being in an endless loop of doorways and can't figure it out? And then you guys went back the other way.
And then
that's
the-
when Joey showed up too, right? You showed up right
Mhm.
after
Right after that, yeah.
Yeah, and then the Void Walker was born.
that. Walker was born. There is another. Thank you, Infectious. Hope you are doing well,
Ooh.
sir.
Wow.
It's been a while. Sir. There was a question before all of that awesomeness. Hang on, I'm gonna scroll up. Would you change the level of the players next time? Yes. So the unfortunate thing about the way that our this donation drive thing worked was it was supposed to be a big push by all the players on the way up. However, we had Mythical Melee, we had shows ending, shows beginning.
Yeah.
There was too much going on for us to really give it a good go. Like we should have had more of our goal before the show even started, technically.
Right.
Then I was expecting everyone to get at least a couple levels, so then you guys would be 7 or 8s, but that didn't really happen. So, you know, option 1 is give you all a flat level, so then it's fair to that point, but then donation items are for magic items and things like that, possibly. Or, you know, kind of take some pages out of Mythical Melee, which is you make the players whatever level, and they get X amount of magic items. And then you can get pre-game potions or other magic items too, because
Right.
I think we raised $400 or $500 before the show started, and then the big
Yep.
thing was monster drops and then in-game potions, which was huge.
Yeah.
Freaking
Potions, luck
monster
points,
drop.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Monster drop like right out the gate.
Some people just want to watch the world burn.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
I will say I was actually kind of confused why. I'm not confused, but I was kind of disappointed that we couldn't use luck or inspo in the Mythical Melee. And watching the final scene, I was like, okay, I know why we weren't allowed to use that. The Mythical Melee would have take 12 hours because he's like, reroll
That's
that.
it.
Reroll that.
Yeah, no, that's it. And that was exactly why. And the thing
Yeah.
is, like, when you're playing something like the Dungeon of Madness, what you're trying to do is either help the players or really try and push them to figure it out and work
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
When it comes to Mythical Melee, Melee, it's like, and this is one of the things that Chris and I talked about, we didn't want an adverse shift in favoritism,
Right.
and we wanted everyone to be on a level playing field as much as possible. That was really the sole reason why.
The one thing I kind of do like about the levels though is, so I kind of jumped in, like it wasn't sort of pre-planned, so I just was rolling a level 5 and jumped in there, and I had 44 hit points, and I got hit with something that hit me for like 52, and I was like, crap, like, you know what I mean? So it kind of, right out of the gate, you have to kind of
Right out the gate.
Yeah,
Lightning bolt, I think it was.
Yeah.
That's that cloud giant.
I was
Yeah.
level 7.
That was
Yeah.
6. That was 6. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, like Ronan came in because we had a couple people
Yeah.
had to back out, so like there were some other holes that I had to fill. So then, I brought Ronan in legitimately last minute. It was like the day before, right? I was like, hey, want to do a
it
thing?
was like
Oh,
it
and
was like
Renee
10 minutes before.
came in.
Was it that soon?
Kind of late
Mhm.
too, right?
Yeah, I was also a last
Yeah.
minute addition.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it kind of worked out to the benefit, mostly because of the situation with the wildfires going on and all that. Like it just kind of worked out that's
Yeah.
what needed to happen. So it was a grand old time. So I only had a couple days to promote and try and get things coming my way. There was a friend of mine. I know I told you about this solo, but there was a friend of mine who was like teasing about potentially donating to me specifically
Oh, yeah.
$750
Yeah.
to get me straight to level 20
Yeah.
and like right off the hop. And I just told Solo, I was like, you have to tell me if this happens so that I can get the character ready. But unfortunately, that friend of mine actually had, for those of you who are in the Navy or who have been in the military, he had his duty day the day he was going, his rent check would clear so that he would know whether or not he had the money. So he spent like 18 to 24 hours on his ship and
Yep.
couldn't
Aw.
donate from his phone. And so he apologized, but like at the end of the day, it was just like, it was fun to play that character at level 5 regardless.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, trying to balance that would be really challenging too. Is like, do I make the encounter now a
120
level
level
20
character.
encounter, and then the rest of them just die, and it's just you, like, yeah, wow. It would be fun. It would be really fun. I need you all to roll initiative because Jordan wants to drop another monster.
All right, let's do this.
Yep. Okay.
Done.
No.
All right, we're off to a good start.
I got
Oh
advantage for some
my
reason.
gosh.
Oh, no, Ronan's got one.
Boom.
Yep, that's on brand.
God, the initiatives were so bad.
Guys.
The initiatives were
You know,
so
and
bad.
then for my
My-
mythical melee, we had like nothing under 12.
That's it. And that was the craziest one. It was just like
Which was
everything's
me. I
happening
was
so
12.
fast.
Yeah, Eddie rolls a natural 20. He's got a 30 on initiative. Like, this is fine. All right.
My first initiative was pretty good, and we were supposed to keep it, and then you changed your mind, and we changed the initiatives for every
Yeah.
battle, which was
Well,
fine, which was
yeah.
fine.
Yeah, it was.
Except
was
for
trying
all
to-
of my other initiatives were terrible.
But you survived the longest. So
I survived really long.
big
12
shout
hour
out
shift.
to by the
Yeah,
way
it's ridiculous.
Blues Clues, who is one of our older moderators who's been away for a while, is in the chat now, but he was also in the dungeon crawl, which was really awesome to see. A big part of the community. And today I actually see Nordic and Infectious in there too, who are also, everyone's got a lot of things going on, but super awesome to see some of our old school moderators in the chat. By the way, Nordic, we might need another vet player. Cough, cough. Tag team. Cough, cough. So it was a wild experience. It really, really was. And it was very humbling. I think it was very humbling to have so many awesome players and people of our community, and there's only a few. Well, no, there was quite a handful of technical issues, internet and
Yes,
other
Towards
things.
the end of there, yeah.
Yeah.
That was, my computer wasn't running the stream. Eddie's computer was running the stream, but I was doing other stuff for mine, and internet was what internet was, and we're doing something for 24 hours. Like, that's a lot on.
Yeah.
anything. I
that's
can't
a
even
lot.
edit the damn video, guys. So I'm
Nope.
trying to edit. I have 2 professional editing computers. I'm trying to edit a 24-hour video, which is 65 gigabytes just for one video. And every time I'm trying to trim off all the hold screens, right? So all the breaks, anytime that
Yeah.
we had tech issues, just so it's nice and clean. I get through a couple, and then the computer freaks out, and Premiere just shuts down. I'm like, What the
Yeah.
fuck just happened?
Yeah,
and-
the only
yeah.
way to do it is to snip it in half, Chris. That's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
Now just wait until you get to partner and you're running at 1080p and
Yeah,
60
ooh.
FPS. I think it's gonna be 200 gigs.
God.
Gonna-
We have another question. This is Wolf's Squatch? Wolf's Quench? Wolf's... I'm so terrible.
Squanch?
Squanch.
Wolf
I'm so
Squanch.
terrible with names.
Wolf Squanch.
Ask Diane, because I...
He messes up Legends of Shalagal every time, but one.
But I said it right earlier today.
You said
I
it.
said Shao Gal. I said that right today.
Yeah. Did you say it today? I don't.
I did.
Whatever.
I did.
Sorry, what was
Uh,
that? The Legends of Shao
Shalagal. Yeah.
Well, I kept saying ghoul because it looks like ghoul. So I'm like, oh, it's a ghoul, like ghoul. Like anyway, doesn't matter.
Shao yeah.
Shalagal. Yeah.
But I may have missed this, but I recalled there were some creatures you straight up said no to when they dropped in. Was there a long list of creatures you banned before the start of the game? Oh no. So I don't have it right here. So all I did was flip through the monster manual. A Terrasac actually came up as one of the options.
Oh, a Tarask. Yeah.
Tarask,
Yeah,
excuse me.
Yeah.
Tarask,
Me and
which
Joe
is
were there.
impossible for them to do.
Yeah, we were there for that.
We were there for that
Um,
one.
So yeah, there was another one too that was the CR rating was just too high. Like not everybody has a magic weapon, at least at certain levels. So you can't even hurt a creature. So like that just wouldn't be fair or fun or really entertaining to watch if I let something that was way out of their range. I mean, next time I'll probably put a CR rating cap on it, but Goristro is a 15, 17.
It's like 15 or
Something like that.
17.
14, I think.
It's stupid. Like, and he's a big boy. He hits hard. He has 310 or 20 hit points. The Storm Giant is also pretty tough.
That's
but,
the
yeah.
monster. That's the monster that started the chat with the butts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was.
The
That,
butts never stop.
that crazy
Wow.
mini.
That thing was
You know-
a pin cushion by the end of it, though.
No, it was.
So
it
good.
was. Yeah.
There's another moment was towards the end too. Wolfalizer, who's one of our moderators, who, first time ever getting to play with us, and unfortunately because of what was going on
yeah.
with the internet and then his connection, things just didn't work out. But the dang order up stuff that he was doing was ridiculous. Like,
Yeah. That I loved
Oh,
every
man.
I love
second
the
that he
bell.
was
The
on.
bell
Yeah.
was great.
Yeah.
oh my god.
He was killing that accent too, man. I was so excited.
Oh my god.
Man, we were just the beard crew for a little while there.
You were.
Yeah, yeah.
So many beards.
It's almost a requirement here.
Yeah.
Right.
Apparently.
We're gonna send you one of those Viking ones there, Diana.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
The knitted one.
You
There's
get
some
one of
really
the-
nice like knitted ones where it looks like it's like made out of a hat material.
Yep. Knitted beard. Yep.
Yep.
Oh man. Anybody else have any other questions in chat? You guys have questions for each other, maybe?
Ronan, what went through your head when you got enfeebled?
Yesterday.
Nothing.
Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely nothing.
It was
Well,
the perfect, like, I'm not
No,
stereotyping
well,
or anything, but it was
honestly-
funny because you went with like that down home southern bayou kind of, accent, and then you got feeble. I was like, come on. The stereotype.
Oh, come on.
Ask Renee. I had a plan. It was. I did not foresee the plan chip, but the feeble mind would have been fine. I would have been completely
Yeah.
fine with the feeble. The
That's
thing
what
I was,
you had said. Yeah.
the thing I was telling Chris yesterday was that the thing I did not anticipate was you. I guess you were bored because you couldn't see any druids, but I figured everyone would just leave me alone, like because I'm an idiot. But everyone, like anybody that came up, was like, "Oh, I'll attack the warlock."
Yeah.
I'm like,
They didn't know what else to do. They were just
Yeah.
fighting the ground. They're like,
You
shots at this guy.
you gotta attack who you can see if you can see anyone.
Yeah. And
I don't know what you got
exactly.
hidden up your sleeves, man.
That's
You
true.
find out you did have
Because-
something hidden up your sleeve.
I
You
did.
look like the least threatening person, as per all of them, because you're just floating up there by yourself. Joey had a hand and an owl. Then the other two could turn into elementals. Then Skiff goes invisible. Like you by proxy were the least.
Yeah, and I
dangerous.
didn't realize everyone was just gonna put me out of my misery. And I'm like, no, stop it! Like I have a plan. Stop. But it was not. Yeah. So between that catastrophe and then like hopping into the thing with 44 hit points and getting. I literally couldn't stand up for more than 10 seconds. I was like, and I'm down again. So
That storm was going to hurt on us.
it was a rough D&D weekend for me.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay.
I wanted to know what your plan was, or how you got the plan for the Voidwalker at the very end.
For you?
Yeah. Voidwalker.
That's
Check
interesting
Voidwalker.
because we were briefly talking about that because
Yeah.
going back in chat, everyone was kind of talking about that.
Everyone was freaking out about.
So
I don't know why.
you were the only
That's
person
official
that
fanfic.
didn't die, right? That just kind of went off in the sunset.
Yeah.
So I don't like loose ends, but
Yeah.
also because it's you, and initially I usually ask permission for stuff like this, but I just did it and then hope for the best. But I love connecting the universe, right? Everyone jokes about the solo verse, but like Ukador has been already connected to Earth for certain things. Ukador has been connected to Forgotten Realms already. Now we have Shao Gul coming up, and like, let's connect it to there.
Shalgal.
It's an A, not an O. Come on, man. Shalgal.
I was
It's
just
so
gonna
in
let
my
it
head
fly.
now where I don't remember which one. Shalgal.
It's okay.
Shalgal.
Yeah.
We'll eventually just let it go, but for now,
Well,
you just gotta keep
eventually
telling.
you'll hear it be said properly once we're streaming. So.
And this is why Diane kicked me off her
Yeah,
show.
anyway. No, I did not. Pick him up. No.
I can't wait till he tries to correct somebody. It's Shalagul.
Amazing. Okay, so there's lots of questions. So,
Yeah, let's
choose a
get to
different-
'em.
Would any of you choose a different race or class if you did this again?
For sure, I would go straight martial for me. I just lots of hit points, lots of beef, just hit things.
I mean, I feel like I would change my class and race just because being a DM for so long, like I haven't been able to play so many characters and I have so many ideas. But I do like my half caster, half martial Eldritch Knight. I thought she did very well. But I
That's
would
just a fun
totally
class
switch-
anyway.
I
Yeah,
would
for sure.
I would totally switch it up. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. My guy was literally just how many hit points can I cram in a 5th or 6th level character. That's
Yeah.
what mine came down to. It was tough feat, hill dwarf, barbarian
That's it.
with the bear totem, so I don't take that much damage. I had 77 hit points at 6th level. I was just trying to hang on for dear life as much as possible.
I do like the fact that you ran out of rages though. That was
Oh yeah. I mean, you get knocked down, you rage again. You get knocked down, you rage again. Just like you just burn through them so fast.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if I would have changed, maybe changed race, because picking like the half elf from Eberron, the Mark of Detection, maybe not have suited me very well, only because it just gave me a couple of bonus spells. Like See Invisibility was nice when it was useful, as well as having Detect Magic and like an extra Detect Magic in the tank. But I don't think I would have changed class, mostly because like in the back of my mind, it was just like, we're gonna need a cleric. There's probably gonna need to be a couple of them, and
I'm
picking
surprised
the
there
life
weren't
cleric,
more because you can
Yeah.
build like
Yeah.
a tanky cleric and be like,
Yeah.
all right for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Picking a life cleric was probably the best bet for me, in my opinion. Had I had a couple more levels, I feel like it would have been easier to manage, and I would have just spent most of my time healing people, or not healing people, depending on what Solo wants me to do. But that was something that I really think was an important decision, just to kind of keep the players up and moving.
So that's yes, I totally agree with that. Let's see, so many questions. Someone asked what the CR rating is for GW's questions, tagging me and you, Renee. That's like a 55,
yeah,
I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a CR. It's definitely a CR 20, if not 25. Only because they are so long and they're very specific. So you actually have to go into depths of the internet to find somewhere where maybe Jeremy Crawford has provided you an answer.
Summon the stage and hope he answered it.
Yeah.
I saw those questions. I was like, oh my god, I completely underthought the whole process.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, him and Chris Sizemore, the level at which Chris Sizemore has like layered his questions, and like every turn has like a bullet point as to like what he's doing and why he was doing it, and it was just it for me, it was those two guys trying to be as into their character and as clever as possible, so they had every angle.
Sure.
That's all it was.
I am going to approach the next Mythical Melee so differently based on
100%.
everyone.
100%.
Yep. Oh, I should tell you all this, especially everybody who's in the chat. I hope you've all enjoyed level 20. Level 20 has been nice. It's been fun. It's been a lot of stress. A lot to manage. We're bringing it down.
Yeah.
We're bringing Mythical
for
Melee.
the next Mythical Melee.
The next Mythical Melee, we're bringing it down. We're going from 20 to level 12.
Okay, I like level 12. I do all of my
Yeah.
one shots.
So just because it's a lot less to manage,
multi-classing.
a lot less to manage, a lot less to multi-class with. We're gonna, having seen how often people take invisibility things, or specifically the Cloak of Invisibility, I'm likely gonna keep it to just rare and uncommon items, just to kind of like keep it simple and keep it, keep everything moving. But level 12 is where we're capping it, because it just makes it easier.
Yeah, it's a lot for the players too, because you're
Yeah.
scrolling, trying to find what you're looking for.
Easier to put your turns together.
Yeah.
Especially the
Easier
wizard,
to
man.
put
My
together.
character sheet was like 4 pages long, just of spells.
Yep. That's
So
exactly
what's
it.
our spending limit gonna be? Because I'm like amazed at what people purchase.
Yeah, I'll probably I'm gonna take a look at what the average, like, if because essentially, for those of you who don't know, it was 3,000 gold for mundane items and or spell components. So
Elephants.
for the next Mythical Melee, I wanted to take a look at what are the highest cost spell components that you can get when you reach level 12, and just string it all together and then like average it out, and then we'll give everyone like a flat, reasonable amount of gold to either spend on, mounts or caltrops or
5,000
friggin'
ball bearings.
BBs. Yeah, ball
Whatever
bearings.
April bought.
Yeah, all the.
You
You should see April's character sheet. Her and Lindsay had so many things.
I
Oh
thought
my
I
God.
had a lot of things, but
I just had I had no things. I spent
I didn't buy
0
anything.
gold. I just had no idea.
I'm
what
glad
to
I didn't spend a lot of
buy.
time thinking about it either, because it wouldn't have mattered at all.
I was having trouble with the uncommon item. I didn't know what that was the hardest part for me. What do I get with these uncommon items?
Well,
Just-
and
Yep.
yeah, and when I submitted my sheet to Renee, like I was like, I don't, and he's like, you're missing like a few things. And I was like, I don't know what to get.
Yeah, so like that was the case with a lot of other people as
Yeah.
well, Diane. Like at the end of the day, there was just me being like, okay, so you're missing a couple things, maybe an uncommon item or a common item. Like the thing that I kept doing is I kept hammering home to people the 2 uncommon items that you're going to want to take for sure are a potion of healing and the clockwork amulet. Like that's it. It's all
Well,
you need.
I had no idea about this clockwork amulet. I don't even know what it does. But I did take 2 potions. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I took the flying broom and a manta ray cloak in case we were in the water. I didn't know where we were going to end up, man. So I don't know what this terrain's going to be like.
Well, next arena, you don't know. It might be a water hazard.
might be.
Yeah, I had 0 mundane items. Like, I had a staff of adornment that I was thinking about having rotate some freezing spears.
Yeah.
Spears rotating on it.
Real good.
I
I
don't
thought
know.
about taking the wand of smiles just for fun, because that's mundane.
I also
That
didn't
would be
realize
good.
you could
That would be
precast
good.
things before we came in.
Well, that's the
Yeah.
thing. People
Yeah.
people came to me and were just like, "Can I have something on?" I was just like, "Yeah, sure." Like for example, Ben came to me and asked me about freedom of movement, and I was like, "Yeah, that makes sense. You're walking in and you just make yourself unable to be grappled. No problem."
I had 20,
Somebody-
20 temporary hit points coming in.
20 temporary HP. I had people talk to me about mage armor. I had people talk to me about hell. GW had foresight. For Christ's sake, he uses legendary item to take a 9th level spell scroll to take foresight.
Well, I had no previous buffs, no mundane
neither.
items, and I lasted Like the winner of my round killed me. So
That's it. That's just it. Like you can do as much pre-planning as you want, but you
Yeah.
don't know what's going to happen until you get in there.
And then
Mhm.
even if you are potentially a smarter player or a better player, or been playing D&D forever, you roll a 5, you roll
Yeah.
a 5, like, and then you're
That's
just
it.
screwed.
Yep.
Like that, and that's just
Yep.
it.
That's what I told Ben.
Quivering
I just
palm.
was not anticipating, like, because we all went to our corners and nothing happened. And I was like, all right, well, we're gonna play this out a little bit. I just did not anticipate him casting people. I was like, I got a counter spell. I just didn't anticipate
Hey,
that.
didn't you
so.
have
Yeah.
that spell too?
Yeah, I have it. I was gonna use it on Joey.
Beautiful.
Oh man, it's I didn't no idea what I was doing, so
And
I had no. I
there's
was in the
so
same
many
boat as you.
people. Yeah, there's so many people who decided that the mythical melee was the time to do a new thing, to try something that they'd never tried before. Like
Me-
Diane, Lindsay, there's so many people who were just like, I'm just going to try something new for this thing. And it was just like, sure. Yeah, throw yourself in the deep end for that. Like,
Yeah.
by all
Yeah.
means, like I will enjoy every moment of you figuring this character.
I mean, I did DM a monk Way of the Open Hand for almost 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I like asked him a ton of questions because I'm sorry, I have 300 NPCs in my brain. I can't remember all the things that you could
That's
do
right.
during
That's
the
right.
campaign. I was happy with how it played out.
Oh, absolutely.
I just couldn't see her.
Yeah, no,
What
that's
was I
the only
supposed
problem.
to do?
You got to the stalemate point of like, I'm just gonna continue to try things.
Yeah.
And you knew, like, I feel like we got to a point where you knew it was
I
over.
knew. I
You
knew.
were just like extending it.
Yeah,
You mean
why not?
like when
Sure.
I kept using all my relentless endurance stuff when I was force cage, just because I was like, no, I'm not giving up. Maybe you'll have a heart
Yeah.
attack because you're old, and
Yeah.
I'll just wait it out. Like,
I'm just
Yeah.
gonna keep trying to catch these crossbow bolts. Whatever.
Yeah. Why not?
so
That was
there was,
that was
there was
almost what
another.
I did on Jay. Was the
that?
force cage. That was almost what I did on
Force
Jay.
cage.
Because he kept
Oh.
popping up and down. I was like, I don't know what the heck to do. I need him to stay still. And then as soon as he transformed into the fire elemental, I was like, okay, his AC's a little lower now. And as soon as he went air, I was like, all right, disintegrate time. Let's do this.
That's it.
Was
Or
there-
sorry, Liz, not
Yeah, Liz.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh. Liz.
so there was a question in chat. I think it was directed for me, but we'll do it for everybody. What was the biggest moment that you either witnessed as a player or witnessed as a viewer? Something that stuck out the most. What was the biggest, coolest thing that you saw during the 24-hour
For the
stream?
24-hour stream, yeah.
I mean, it's got to be the school for me. Like just seeing that sort
The
of
school was
that
wild.
OMG moment for sure.
The school was pretty cool.
I mean, I jumped into that thing's mouth. I'm just saying.
Oh my God.
Every barbarian needs to jump into something's mouth.
Yeah, that's
That-
true.
it's no,
Wait,
there's no discussion.
It was your Drax moment.
When
So,
you
right.
did that, I was just like, "This is amazing," but it only has like 10 HP left. Okay.
Hey, now it looks like it was a great idea.
As a viewer, probably the school. As a player, on a serious note, walking into the void was
Yeah.
pretty memorable for me. And then on a joke note, the butt.
Yeah.
The Greastro butt. I'm
like,
sorry.
The 24th hour, they're still talking about butts. Like it was just amazing how long that carried. Like,
Yeah, the most
We were the party that made the nonsense.
I think the actual most epic moment was Jadobi
And-
unwinding and unraveling, though.
GW and his role playing was absolutely incredible.
yeah,
And the chat. The whole time, the chat.
Yeah.
They were incredible.
No, to be perfectly honest, as a player, it was definitely getting to step into a mid-match situation with April and Diane. That was a lot of fun. Playing with Eric was cool, even for the brief moment that I got to have with him. That was nice. As a bystander, as a spectator, it was watching the finale just kind of like slowly disintegrate into this absolute
Into madness.
mind palace of God knows what's going on. I'm sitting
Yeah.
here at home being like, you know what? I got my nap in. I'm okay. I'll duck back in. I won't say anything in the chat because I just don't want anyone to bother me as to why I'm not in bed yet. But I'm sitting there going like, what is happening? And it's just lost it. Absolutely lost it.
Oh,
The sheer
man.
fact that it was entertaining for 24 hours says a lot. You know what I mean?
100%,
Like,
100%.
it was insane.
You know, and it wasn't about me going through madness. We've all know I'm deep in the madness. It was about me bringing you with me. I have a sofa down in the madness train. Yeah, it was such a surreal experience. It really, really was. But let's talk about WizKids for a second and the poor
Yeah.
design of Goristo. First off, every single one of these minis I've ever seen always does the lean. It's always top heavy and these little legs don't overwork. But then we can talk about
What's with the butt?
The butt,
It's very well defined.
the capital T, the butt.
Butt with a capital T.
It's like all the way up in there. Like why?
For sure.
Why?
Well, and not only that,
You
why
are
couldn't you have made
killing
it
me.
like as equally massed as like both the thighs and the back? Like it just doesn't make any sense.
I mean, when you look at like the render, right? The gray render is built the same way. Little dinky legs, big head, but there's no defined butt. So someone actually molded a butt for this guy. Just
Yeah.
like because they're literally like the same mini, just different sizes. But this
Yep.
one's got a butt. It's weird.
Hashtag
no.
don't skip leg day.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Do your squats.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I'll be honest, guys. I almost took a Steven route to the Mythical Melee. I was just gonna come out and start drawing deck of many things cards and just see what happens. Just start pulling whatever around and see.
Oh
let it
my
out with the sentiment.
gosh.
That would have been madness.
Oh
Would have been
man,
madness.
I would have brought the madness into the Mythical Melee. I considered it for so long. Like I'm just gonna come out here and start pulling.
Yeah, but see,
Pulling
when,
cards.
when you choose the deck of many things as a specific item, what's the first thing that automatically happens? The first card you pull is the Void, and you're gone.
Yeah, it could
Yeah,
be.
right.
It could
Sure.
be.
And then you join the Voidwalkers army.
True.
There we go.
Or
building one.
you pull the Joker, then everybody you see has to pull a card, and then the fun begins.
Exactly. That was the hope. That was the hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, that would have been. I kind of regret it now.
So
I'd give up my win to redo it. I think.
we
There's
have
always
10,
next time.
we have 10 minutes left.
Yep.
So any final questions from the chat or from you all, and then we'll be on our way so I can prep for the Wizards show that'll be starting in about 40 minutes. Yeah.
And then we have to hop on a fake train and head to
Yeah.
college.
Yeah. Yeah, my questions for Diane is
Okay.
if out of the three houses, which one do you think
Oh.
that your
Ooh.
character fits within?
Oh. My initial thought was Silverhorn.
Silverthorn.
Silverthorn.
See,
but I don't
names are hard.
know.
See, names are hard. It's not
Silverthorn.
just me.
Silverhorn.
My initial thought was Silverthorn, but I don't know. I guess we'll just see what happens. But I think my character fits best in Silverthorn. But it's not
Renee,
my
same
choice,
question.
is it?
If I get my wish, I'm going to be in Frostguard only because I need to stand behind Taryn and watch her like every single move and make sure that she knows that I'm carefully watching her because she knows exactly why, and that's all I have to say on that. Otherwise, to be like, if I'm being completely honest, I think Khalees, who is a very interesting character, went a little bit sideways in my creation this time, but I think that Khalees is more suited to Moonlander, mostly because of his personality. But if anything, I need to be the hot breath on the back of Rook's ears, I think.
Frostguard for life.
Since the questions are, she says she's ready. Since we're leading into wizards, we can do some wizard stuff. So, what is everyone's thought? Because I have everything numbered, as far as what the schools like. The first three are in order, everything else is random. What are your thoughts about not being able to choose your school of magic? Coincidentally, Ronan wanted war magic. The teacher of war magic wanted Ronan, and then he rolled a 3, which was just dumb because that's what it was. So each teacher does get a coin. So if you've
Fate.
impressed the teacher, so I have all the, you all have the pictures of all the instructors. All the instructors' minis are on the table, and you can point and you can say, hey, I want to do something so and so sees. So like if you do something that's really cool that impresses somebody, they might be like, yeah, you belong in Moonlander, and then drop their coin and then get you, right? And then if you choose to say yes or no, obviously. But what are your thoughts on the randomness of it? So you don't get to choose your school of magic.
I think it's
love
great.
it.
I
Yeah,
like
love
it. I like it. Yeah.
I think it's got to be that way. I mean, and I think it fits sort of from a narrative standpoint because we're level 1. What the hell do we know? You know what I mean? Like we may want to go somewhere, but we don't know anything. So
Exactly.
yeah.
And not only that, but it allows you to make it even spread. Like if we all went, if everyone didn't discuss what characters we were making, you would have like this weird spread of specific schools. Like
Yeah.
I know a lot of people lean into transmutation and or evocation because of the benefits that you get from those classes, but like. I feel like there are a couple of schools of magic that would get ignored, like abjuration or illusion, mostly because they're not as combat heavy, or they don't
Tell
feel
Emma
as,
that.
Yeah, exactly. They don't feel as featureful,
Sure.
I guess.
Well, if you go through, like I went through and I took all 12 schools of magic and I went through all of the different min-max sites. And I leveled up which ones were and abjuration is actually at the top for the best school of magic to pick for like an overall person who you're playing. It goes abjuration, divination, and then war magic. Like that's why those are the 3 main school houses. And then I kind of mixed the other ones in there to make it even.
Divination and enchantment, I think, is the main spells my character has.
Yeah.
So Chris, do you have a plan for if they end up rolling something that's already been rolled?
So initially the houses have to be full, and then the last person that comes in the house is like a floater because there's 4 schools of magic but five students. So if someone rolls something that's already been picked, you'll have to re-roll until all the different classes are picked, and then we'll have 3 doubles, one in each thing.
Gotcha.
But so the rest of the mechanics for this is this one, you pick whatever spells you want, cool. Then you get set into a house. Once you're in the house, you can only pick from the 4 schools of magic that are in that house for that first group of levels. Then the next time that we'll have a session, you'll be in a different class and you'll learn other spells. But each time that we do this is like, so this is spoilers, nobody knows. Like the first group thinks they're level 2, they're actually level 4. And the next episode, so the next week after, when you're actually in your house, you'll be level 4. And the next time that we have an episode, you'll be level 8. And the next time you have an episode, will be level 12. So we're doing
Whoa!
this.
Okay.
Oh
So-
snap!
I like this.
So,
Yep.
and that should happen around January. So you all will essentially possibly graduate this school at level 12. Is kind of the idea. So
Cool.
each episode is like the next year of studies, right? So then it's sophomore
Right.
year, junior, senior, and then boom, you graduate. That is the plan. Yes, Stiletto, you are level 4. April also said, "What if I kill Ronan? Do I become war magic?"
Nice try.
Oh my gosh. So many. My sister has so many accidents.
Yes. But yeah, that's kind of the plan. Possibly even doing this later on down the line too for like a second iteration of Wizards of Ukudor, maybe. Maybe even like once you all are in your sophomore year, maybe we do it again and have another freshman class. Like I don't know how many Wizards we'll have, but that could be fun too. So there's a lot
That
of
would be
fun
cool.
things that we could do.
Mess with the lower classmen.
Yeah. It could be fun. But again, it's all about building lore. So all of you wizards are actually like part of this world now. So you
Yep.
know, Renee, what's your character's name again?
Khalees.
Khalees. That's right. So, you know, your mom already has stories that we're incorporating into the lore. So you become this level 12 and then eventually level 20 master wizard that does all these good things. That will get inserted into the lore. So just like Mordekainen and, you know, Hallister. Right?
Elminster.
Yeah, so there's all these different wizards that are part of the lore, which is just someone just sitting down and writing some cool lore. I'm like, yeah, that's fun, but that's boring, right? Like, that's just a fake person that you're creating. But now we're creating essentially NPCs in the world in the future that maybe you might join, you know, in the future. So, like, Renee's character might be level 18, and then when Realms of Ukador is 18, they meet him, and then he helps them complete something. And then all of a sudden you're like, wait, what? He's from where? Who? How? And then all of a sudden your mind explodes. And you're like, oh, that's kind of the idea.
Sounds awesome.
I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to it.
So,
Exciting.
yeah, thank you all so much for this awesome panel. I really enjoyed the Dungeon of Madness. Like, it was
So
a fun
much fun.
experience. I'd
It's
like to
great.
do it again.
100%. Yeah.
I think when I do it again, everyone was asking if I do it again, it won't be the same dungeon or the Dungeon of Madness. So Dungeon of Madness is an actual location that has lore wrapped around to it. It would be repetitive to do it again, right? We already know what the ooh is at the end of that. So we would do another intense dungeon, which there are about 6 in the world of Ukador that I have already kind of made. So we could do something like that for a different thing. So maybe it is something different but similar, right? A 24-hour stream for, I don't know, something.
Maybe we just tie it into the finale of Mythical Melee.
We could.
Oh,
I
Lord.
mean, we've had a couple of conversations. We could tie it in there.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of tie-ins. I love tie-ins. But okay, so go ahead and enter
What's
raffle.
happening?
What's happening? The end of the world.
Just wait, Diane. Just you wait.
Well, maybe the next one is my sci-fi one. Maybe we go back to the Ashes of, or go forward to the Ashes of Ukador in the 5th Age, where most of the world is dead, and now we're doing a sci-fi dungeon in space.
That could be cool.
That'd be
That
fun.
would be fun.
Aliens and laser guns
Pew
and stuff.
pew, pew pew
Yeah.
pew.
Anybody who's played any of my games with my homebrew stuff turned on, they've seen Corruption Magic, and they're like, oh, what's this? By the way, if you have any Corruption Magic spells, you need to remove them, because we had players in the other
No,
one who did that. That's my evil magic school. Like, you can't...
I watched enough of Realm Season 1 that I knew corruption magic was a no.
But I also have like 6 pages of... If you look in, if you have a character in one of my things, just type in MK, and it'll be Mark something. I have like 3 or 4 pages of weapons from the sci-fi show that are already made and pre-genned and ready to go for things. We use charges as rounds. So like if you shoot something, you just do a charge on the item, and then you have to recharge. Oh my god, so many things. I love that show so much, but it makes my brain melt. But yes, I mean, 18 solar systems, 9 planets in each solar system, and there's cities in each thing. Like, that's too much. It's just too much.
That's a lot.
Solo,
lot.
you got issues,
And
man.
even then, I'm gonna go on a tangent. Even then, I have all this created. The players are like, "Hey, let's go to that planet that's not created yet." What the fuck? Like, why?
I mean, you should know by now
Always.
that that's what players do.
I know.
Always.
All right, so
Oh,
yes,
this isn't done? Let's
go
do
ahead
it.
and enter raffle in the chat. We're gonna do our pre-wizard game raffle. I'm gonna end the stream here in a second, and then start up the wizard stream with the timer. And we will still be in chat if you want to ask us questions. And we'll see you guys later.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.
All right.